Hello everyone, my name is Lauda, and today I am going to be using my psych degree for the first time since graduating. Yeah! I recently saw a video by Stargirl, the Practical Witch, and it's about the law of assumption. And a lot of people know about the law of attraction, which she even said in her video, and the law of assumption is fairly similar. She says it's very different, but I found it very similar. And what I noticed about videos that talk about the law of attraction, or in this case, the law of assumption, is that they talk about it in a very, for lack of a better term, a hippy-dippy sort of way. And, it makes sense to me. But there's a lot of people who will look at it and think, oh, this isn't true, this is BS because of there's no science behind it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to use my psych degree and explain why the law of attraction, or in this case, the law of assumption, which was the first time I heard about it, but it makes sense. I'm going to explain why it works. Sort of. In a very simple terms, the law of attraction is positive thinking. If you want to attract something, you have to believe you already have it. Say it in positive terms. For example, if you want to have more money in your life, you say, I have an abundance of wealth. And you have to believe that and have those feelings, etc., etc. With the law of assumption, the basics of it is that you have to assume something is real because you don't know if something's real or not. You assume things based on your past experiences. This could be positive or negative. When you're using the law of assumption, you assume the positive things. She used an example of if you've had lots of bad experiences with female friend groups, you're going to assume that you don't get along with females. But that's not necessarily true. It might just be those female friend groups that you had a bad experience with. So you need to assume anything positive from it. And it's changing your subconscious into thinking positive things. That's very basics of it. I'll link the video below. It's 13 or so minutes, so it explains it very well. Law of attraction videos. I don't have one specific video that I can show you to, but there's a lot out there. You can probably find it. In terms of psychology, it does make sense. Because when you think positive things, you'll naturally attract people that are positive as well. For example, if you go to a friend group and then there's always that one friend that is always completely pessimistic, always puts everything down, you say oh my gosh, let's go to swim. Oh, but people drown. Are you sure that you want to go there if people drown? That's a bit of a exaggeration. No one's gonna actually talk like that. When someone's always really negative, you don't want to hang around them unless you yourself are very negative. Because like-minded people attract like-minded people. So if you are always positive, you'll attract more positive people, which will in turn help you. Let's say you want to attract more money in your life. If you, using any of the two laws, let's say the law of assumption, you assume that good things will come. You assume that opportunities are going to come. Because you can also assume that opportunities won't come your way. If you have that assumption, you'll naturally start going to more events where you'll meet more people. And when you network with people that could give you those opportunities, you'll naturally be more positive and more confident in your work. And when they offer you more opportunities to get higher up in work, you'll accept them because you'll assume that you deserve them. The same thing goes with law of attraction. If you're always thinking, I have a job that I love, I have a job that gives me money, when that opportunity comes, you'll recognize it and you'll take it. But if you're always negative, you won't have the self-worth to notice those things coming. I hope that makes sense. So that's the reason why law of attraction and law of assumption work. Because your mindset is to make your self-worth higher. So you can recognize that you deserve these things, which you do. Everyone deserves these things. And not everyone wants the same thing too. So there is enough for everyone. Something that is good to be wary of, though, which is something that I, based on her explanation of the law of assumption, it takes this into consideration, is toxic positivity. An explanation of it is like Joy from, what's the name of the film? Inside Out? The one where they're in the brain. I think it's Inside Out. Joy has a lot of toxic positivity. She doesn't want any negative feelings. And in turn, that means that whenever negative feelings come, they explode. It's important to feel negative feelings, which is something that law of attraction doesn't take into account. Law of attraction is kind of toxic positive because you always need to feel happy. If you feel sad, you have to change that feeling into happiness as soon as possible. It's important to feel your feelings. What you can't let happen is let those feelings control you, because that's how you get into a depressive state, or you get into an anxious state. All of these negative states, which you should probably get help for. But it is important to feel those feelings, because or else they'll just get bottled up, and when you finally let yourself feel those things, it'll be so much more intense, which is the depressive and anxious states that I talked about. The law of assumption tries to change your subconscious to be more positive. Basically, it's trying to change you from a pessimist into an optimist. A lot of people who are pessimists love to say that they're realists. There's two sides of realism. You can either be positive with your realism or negative with your realism. It could be like that one scene.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
The whole thing with the law of assumption is that you don't know. You're assuming things. So why not assume the positive side of it? And it because it's changing your subconscious, that's the whole idea of it, you need to deal with all of the negative aspects of yourself before you're able to change that. It's something that you can do with therapy, with shadow work. I would hope that you would seek a professional for things that are really big. Although be careful when you're doing it yourself, like with shadow work, because it could get you into an even more depressive state. Because you're dealing with very hard topics that you're trying to suppress. So when you bring it up, it can trigger you. But basically, what you would do with the law of assumption and what you would do with therapy or shadow work is you think, for example, the female friend group that she brought up in her video. You always assumed that, oh, I don't get along with girls because of all the girls that, the girl groups that you didn't get along with. Why do you feel that way? I feel that way because all the girl groups that I was around weren't nice to me, so I didn't like them. Okay, but why do you think they weren't nice to me? Oh, because of this, this, and this. Oh, but why did that happen? Oh, because of this, this, and this. And then you'll slowly find out that, oh, maybe it was fear of abandonment that made you not like girl groups. Maybe it's you were bullied, and because of that bullying, girl groups just trigger you. Like, there's various reasons, and it's something that you can uncover either by yourself or with therapy. Preferably with therapy, because then they'll make you think about things that you won't think about on your own. You can also, if you can't afford therapy, you can also try with a friend, or you can even research what the best way to to figure out the reasoning behind things. I don't know how to explain this, but like, I hope you get what I mean. Yeah, I think that's all that I have to say, but it's something that I wanted to make this video because a lot of people, they think law of attraction and now the law of assumption, which came out in the 50s, so I don't know why people are just talking about it now. But the law of attraction and law of assumption, a lot of people think is just like hippy dippy sort of things, but there is psychological backing to it. And it's especially the law of assumption is something that when I heard about, I literally listened to this video like maybe an hour or two ago. When I heard about it, I was like, this is basically just therapy. Like, make sure you go to therapy and you work out why you think certain things and then try to work on them and be more positive so that you can have a more positive life. That's pretty much what it is. And I just wanted a video that explained these things in a more, it's not really scientific way that I'm explaining it, but in a less hippie sort of way. Not that there's anything wrong with being hippie, it's just that a lot of people tend to think of it in a negative light if you don't explain it more rationally, I guess. She explained it with the Matrix, which is really cool, and it made me understand a lot, but a lot of people might not get it. They might think like, oh, you're just reaching with that. So I thought I would bring my psych degree to hand and show you about this. If you guys are interested, I can make a video on tarot readings and why I think they're really good, even as a psych major. So it might seem like, oh, why would that be good? But why I think that they are nice. Yeah. Don't know how to end this. So, bye! Mwah. See ya! Have a nice day! Bye!